On Darling and the Mets, the bad news just continues, Ronnie, with the news with Familia, now Syndergaard down for Lugo. I mean, it's just one thing after another. When does it stop, huh?
I don't know, Mike. These press conferences, every time you go in, you just expect something bad to come out of it, and so far they deliver.
It is unbelievable. And then Cespedes, which, yesterday I got information that they said highly unlikely he'll play in the series, which is good information. And now he's going to rehab or go to a rehab game tonight. Funny time for him to go to his first rehab game when the Yankees are in town. I don't know if he could play or not, but that's wild that he's rehabbing tonight.
Yeah, I always find it interesting because, when I played, Carter or Hernandez, they were out for an extended period of time. They kind of took some swings and just jumped back in there. They're uber careful now. I don't even know how to address that, Mike. I just think, it would have been nice if because I think Cespedes, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but Cespedes, in my opinion, kind of tells you when he's going to play. But it would be kind of cool if he said, hey, forget about Binghamton. They need me in Flushing. So it would have been nice, but...
I don't want to knock him, and I don't believe in knocking guys with injuries because we don't know. But if he could put the uniform on tonight, I mean, wouldn't you rather put it on here?
Well, just his mere presence, even if he's not 100% as far as his ability to swing the bat. I mean, if he can play there, that means he can play physically. His appearance in the lineup just changes everybody in the lineup, gives it more depth, whatever. There used to be a day, Mike, we used to talk about this all the time, that I'd rather have 80% of so-and-so than 100% of someone else who's going to replace them. But those days are gone.
Unbelievable. We're talking about Ron Darling. All right, and now Familia goes down. I mean, unbelievable. I've been mentioning it for quite some time now that he just didn't look right to me. I thought, in Philadelphia, he kind of hurt his ankle covering first base. That was about a month ago. And he just didn't seem right after that. And, I don't know, everything's attached, your leg and the throwing or whatever. And they say it's not this, but, he missed 3 months last year because of a blood clot in his shoulder. And they're saying it's not that, which is good news for them. But you don't like to see a pitcher of his stature having issues with his shoulder 2 years in a row. That's troubling for me. Ron, tonight we've seen DeGrom in the last couple of games. Clearly, it's the strain is shown, the frustration is shown. The other day, I know the frustration was that the Cubs kept getting blue pits. I understand that, and they finally scored. But the bottom line is, you could almost sense in him how hard it is for him to get out there and pitch all these games without a lead. I mean, he has pitched so well. How about him tonight, taking on this very deep, very talented Yankee lineup?
Well, first, for DeGrom, it's almost historic the run he's had on and no return. He's gone 8 straight starts, Mike, without giving up more than a run. And the Mets are 2-6 in those games.
That's
the bullpen's ERA is 8.22 in games that DeGrom starts this year. So it's uncanny. I think, though, what happens for pitchers is you go through these streaks of amazing games, which he has, and when you're not rewarded with wins, and I know a lot of people want to kill the win, I'm not one of them. When you're not rewarded with a win, you know that at some point you're going to have the game that is not so good. And the thing that's going to be difficult for Jake tonight is not that he's not at the top of his game, but Stanton always hits great at this ballpark. No one has more than 2 home runs off DeGrom other than Stanton, who has 4, and that's over 400 against him, and 21 home runs in this ballpark by Stanton. So that'll be the major thing. And I think if you follow the Yankees, of course, Stanton's numbers, even though it's still the same city, on the road are much better than they have been at Yankee Stadium. So that'll be his big hurdle tonight. If he's able to make that hurdle over Stanton, then maybe he can have a good game. But the depth of that lineup, I mean, Torres is 9th tonight with the pitcher hitting in the 8th spot. I mean, and Duhar has been, 21 doubles, 13 extra base hits in his last 9 games. He just the depth of that lineup would give anyone trouble.
We're talking with Ron Darling. Matz tomorrow. Now, Matz and Wheeler both pitch better. What have you seen from Matz? How do you think he stacks up going against that very tough lineup?
Yeah, and I think with Matz, what you've seen, it's going to be a little more difficult because, there's so much right-handed power in that lineup. You just take the 3 big guys, Judge, Stanton, and Bird. But I think
that's going to present a problem. Why has he been pitching well? I think his arm speed on his fastball and changeup match, so he's really been able to confuse hitters that way. But I still think the one missing piece for him is once he gets that breaking ball a little better, then he could dominate lineups. You know, there's not many left-handed starters out there that throw 95 miles an hour. So, listen, this Yankee lineup, at my best years, would be a lineup that you'd go, boy, can't make many mistakes, because, you know, Citi Field will present a little more haven, of course, than Yankee Stadium. But these guys are so big and strong, Mike. It doesn't matter. If you make a mistake, you know, it doesn't matter what ballpark they play in.
Talking with Ron Darling, of course, before the Subway Series. Ron, you know, the Mets probably are at as low a point as they can get. I mean, we've said that, but they keep seeking new levels. But, I mean, and then here come the Yankees. And I love this thing. I've always enjoyed it. I think and you're in the stadium, you enjoy it. The fans, it's fun. I think it's nice seeing full parks when you wouldn't see them otherwise. Do you look at this as boy, this is the wrong time to have the Yankees stroll in, or do you look at this as maybe as a good opportunity with nothing to lose for the Mets?
I think it's more the latter, Mike. I think this is a chance to reclaim their season in some ways, because, you know, they're at the lowest I've seen them since I've been doing this job for 13 years. You know, when they've had bad teams, they've had bad teams, but this team was supposed to be better than this. So this is a chance to, against, you know, you always try to weigh yourself against the best competition, and certainly the Yankees are as good as any team in baseball. So this is an opportunity for them to try to reboot or kick this season for them. The thing I love about this series has always been the same. You know, I'm from Massachusetts, so, you know, there's so blatant homers in Massachusetts. You only root for all the home teams, whether it's the Bruins, Patriots, Red Sox, Celtics. But here, what I love about this series is that people come and they have a family of 6, and 3 like the Mets and 3 like the Yankees.
No question.
I never get it, but I love it.
I'm telling you, I have that in my family. I tell you, we have it divided in the whole family. It's unbelievable. It's been that way forever. I mean, and you see it all the time. Brothers and sisters and families and extended families, and it is fun. And I think it makes for a great atmosphere. I really do. And I think, listen, as you said, it's an opportunity for the Mets, and that's an amazing statement that this is the lowest you've seen them as an organization. I mean, the feel for this team right now is so negative. And we've seen some negative moments, but this is unbelievable how negative the feeling is right now. And I don't know what's going to be the thing that breaks that lineup out. You know, maybe we thought it was Cespedes. He's not there. I don't know what's going to happen that's going to shake that line. You know, if Bruce hit the ball out of the ballpark the other day, that ball that went to the track,
that's right,
had gone out, maybe that's a 2-1 win and they feel differently about themselves. But they need somebody to just make go up there and hit a 3-run homer.
Yeah, you know, they haven't hit any home runs. They're a team based on home runs. And when Cespedes out, Conforto and Bruce have had probably their toughest stretch. So, you know, that being said, the reason I said that is just a typical example. I was at the gym today, and a guy comes up to me and says, "What do you think tonight? You know, what's going to happen?" I said, "I don't know what's going to happen." I said, DeGrom will probably pitch great, and he'll go, "Yeah, but they'll lose 1-0. I mean, I was like, whoa. I mean, that's kind of how folks are feeling right now here in Flushing. And the only way to change that, Mike, always is by winning.
The manager, first year, put in a very tough spot with a lineup that's collapsed, with a pitching staff that's gotten hurt. But he has been kind of inconsistent, and he's been head-scratching in some spots with handling the team, both in the lineup and in the bullpen. Do you think the team sees that, or is that just us as guys who watch it all the time? We see that, but the team doesn't look at it that way.
Well, I think the team doesn't look at it that way. I think, you've been watching ball for a long time. I have too. We know certain things that kind of got to get done. You know, the other night, a prime example, Bruce, they're down a run. He gets on first base with a walk. They don't pinch run Reyes. If Reyes is on the team, really right now, all he can really provide, because he's struggling at the plate, is his legs to pinch run. They decide not to do it. So those are head-scratching things to someone like me that's watched the game for a long time. But I don't think organizations think like that anymore. They've got they've got so many different confusing things that are going on that I'm surprised that the game seems secondary sometimes to me. Like winning tonight seems secondary. As far as the manager's concerned, we have 2 rookie managers here. One is certainly blessed with a better team than the other. But Like when you hire people that don't have any experience, I think you have to know going in that you're going to have some growing pains. If you don't, I think you're foolish.
I think you got to see. I think we've seen that, no question. Now, again, teams never look as bad as they do when they don't hit, and this team has been brutal. It has just not hit at all. They don't get anybody on a base paths.
Yeah. They can't manufacture any kind of runs, and it's not even hitting home runs, which you're supposed to do. But you very rarely see a lot of extra base hits either. So there's no movement. There's not a lot of people running around. The other day's game was frustrating because it was like an analytics dream for the defense because the Mets kept hitting ground balls into the ship. So, those are the kind of things that are going to have to change. Now they have everyone else is zigging, Mike. They have young, everyday players that bring a lot of energy, and the Mets are zagging with an older ball club with older players that definitely have some numbers on the back of their baseball card, but certainly, I think being fair, you would have to say they're in the fall of their careers, winter, spring, summer, and fall. And I just think, you're asking a lot for all of them to hit when you have an older team.
Ron, always a pleasure. Thanks. We'll enjoy tonight. We'll be watching you. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Take care.
Thank you, Ron Darling. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with the Yankee manager, Aaron Boone.